Got my water and coffee. All right. Good morning. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning.
I think we're all good. I hear we're live. So
And we are live. And I just realized we have a little bit of a thing because I can't hear them now, Carla. So let me, there we go. Got it. All right. Good morning. Let's do this again. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Good morning.
How is everybody? Well, it's not morning everywhere.
That's true. That's true.
Good evening, good day.
Good afternoon.
Glad everybody could join us.
And it's nice to see you guys.
Good to see you there.
Those who somehow don't know who you are, we are chatting with Miguel Ruiz and Barbara Emrys. For those of you who don't even know that, Miguel is the one with the hat, and Barbara is the one without the hat. And my name is Aaron, and we're here to talk about their new book, The Actor.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to be doing this for 4 weeks, a little book series, jumping into various aspects of The Actor. And today we're going to focus on the beginning of that book, talk about the artist, a couple other things, and see where we go from there. And before we start, I just want to let everyone know, those who are watching live, feel free to comment in the chat section. And if you have any questions you want to ask Barbara or Miguel, feel free to ask those questions in the chat, and hopefully we'll get a chance to ask a few of them later. So that being said, we can jump into something. So thanks for joining this morning and doing this.
Oh, this is our pleasure.
Yeah, mine too. And it's been a while since I had a chance to talk to both of you together. So this is kind of
That's right.
Nice little treat. So, one thing I found interesting about this book that I'll mention right off the bat is there was a line in there that said that this book is not necessarily about becoming a better actor, but becoming a better human being. And I know when I saw the title about the actor, I thought the whole book was going to sort of be instructions on how to become a better actor, but it really is sort of not just a template, but a really magnified investigation about how to become the best human that you can be, if that makes sense. And that's what I loved about this book so much, is that there's so much to talk about. And if we start at the beginning talking about artists, everyone, let's see, for me, when I think about artists, I think about painters and writers and actors. I think about musicians. But the one art that we all share is performing. And I found that so interesting that you break down everyone is an artist because everyone performs. And I was curious to see if you can talk a little bit about that.
Maestro.
Barbara, go ahead.
Well, to your first point about not necessarily being a better actor, what we want is ultimately in every teaching, find our way back to authenticity, which is the truth of us, without the pretense, without the performance. And in order to do that, we need to establish that we have been trained to perform since we were very small. In order to survive as whatever our species is, we have to mimic the ways and the behaviors of the people around us, the other animals in our herd or whatever species we are, and become like the rest of the species. And of course, that's what we do. And it's not just about learning language and how we use language. Before language, we're learning to mimic. And this is a wonderful thing because it helps us to survive and to ultimately sort of get the ground rules for being a human being. In the process, of course, we keep that mimicry or that mentorship activated throughout our lives, usually into adulthood and maybe into the rest of our lives. When, if we kind of wake up and see the whole picture, we can see, oh, wait, I was taught to act like this. I was taught to react like this, which is what acting is mostly about, how you react to things. And maybe I can be a little more spontaneous, authentic in the moment. I can stop having reflexive actions and reactions and take in the whole truth of a moment, which is far beyond what we're trained by society to do. We're trained by society kind of just to fit in. So this all helps us through childhood, but it doesn't necessarily make us more authentic human beings once we've passed childhood. We still have the voices in our heads of our parents, and they blurt right out, and we wonder, what was that voice? Why did I say that? It doesn't really feel natural to me, and this is why. So it's kind of important to know why you're acting, why you're so good at it, and then sort of experiment with, what is it that I am? You take an artist like anybody, any famous artist, Picasso or Monet, and I'm sure they started their careers sort of trying to fit in and do what their masters did or the people they admired did, resemble that kind of art. And gradually, with experimentation, they became, their own kind of artists with their own kind of style, even at the risk of being rejected by the community, the artistic community. And that's essentially what we're asking, you to do, and what we've all been practicing, certainly since we entered this teaching. Aaron and I were devoted apprentices to a master. And little by little, we begin to trust our own style and our own way of speaking and messaging. And that's the best we can do. The best we can contribute to society is our authenticity. The best gift we can give ourselves is our authenticity. And all artists are trying to find the truth. That's what they have in common. What do you
know what is amazing?
Uh-huh.
Is that we don't even need to learn to be an actor or actress.
Mm-hmm.
It comes directly from our DNA. And not just us, also the animals,
Sure.
everything that exists, really.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to learn to perform or anything like that. It's just in us. The whole world was waiting for us to arrive. Before we was born, the entire society already exists. The rich, the poor, the injustice, the violence, everything exists before we arrive. But it was a magical moment when mother knows she was pregnant. That have a big effect in the little society that is the family, and they prepare a stage for us to arrive.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was waiting. And for many years, they didn't know if the newborn will be male or female. Now they know almost right away. But they're just waiting for. As soon as we was born, we grab everybody's attention. And they celebrate everything, whatever we do or we don't do. They even think for us, put words in our mouth. Mm-hmm. And we just acted like a newborn, then like a toddler. It was extremely important when we learned a language. Mm-hmm. When we start having conscious of what we are when we create our very first script, how we adapt to the stage. The stage keeps shifting as we was growing up also. It was so beautiful to see the development of the little actor or actress. Like Barbara said a little before, we mimic everybody around us. We hear voices and we practice very soon. We try to say what mother, father, brother, sister says. We see attitudes and we imitate attitudes. But like I said before, even before we learn to speak, we start doing tantrums. We wish that everybody understands what we want. And we become a very impressive actor or actress. And then our teachers start telling us the way we should act. They give rules, that we have to follow the rules. And in the very beginning, we really didn't care about those rules because we really didn't understand what they want us to do. But when we have enough knowledge, then we start learning the consequences of whatever we do or we don't do. But we still was performing in our own personal way.
Mm-hmm.
I performed to become Miguel. And really, it's the only one that I can be. I cannot be anybody else. I can try to be like somebody else. I can do a very good imitation, but no, I cannot be anybody else but Miguel. And say with all of you, you only can be you, whatever you are. You can imitate Elvis Presley or Kennedy, whoever, but you're imitated. And you know you're doing that. When we become a kind of professional actor or actress, we imitate the characters of that script. But in our everyday life, we are performing to the script that we create because we create a story. We're the producer, the director, the main actor or actress, and we fulfill the script with all those secondary characters with the ones we interact.
Mm-hmm.
Then without even knowing, we become a great actor or a great actress, the best in the script that we create, the best in our story. And we can act in any way. We can be the shy one, the angry one, the jealous one, and even more interesting, even without knowing, we wear different masks, different faces. We project an image of ourselves in the way we want to be perceived by others.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a big fear that we all have. The critics, because everybody will create an image of us and they will want to control our performance. They tell us the way we should perform. They tell us all the mistakes we do, etc., etc. But there's a lot of opinions all around. Everybody tells you what you are, what you should be, the way you have to behave. But we create that great magic that we try to please everybody, and we create an image of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we perform. And we have all of our life playing the role, changes the performance in wherever we are. We present something different when we're working, when we are teaching, when we are having fun in a romantic relationship. We change faces. We are polyphacetic.
Right.
and we don't know we are acting. But just by nature, we are acting all the time. And by trying to be what everybody tells us the way we should be, we lose the authenticity little by little. Because we want to be accepted by all those critics without knowing that the biggest critic we have is ourselves. The way we judge ourselves about our performance, the way we should act or react, if we have courage or we're afraid, if we were accurate or not, if we were ridiculous, and only we know that. If we are so afraid that we will sacrifice ourselves in order to be accepted by everybody around us, and especially to be accepted for ourselves. But maybe the day come when we discover that we are acting all of our life and we try to be accepted by the majority. We try to perform. And sometimes we don't like the role that we give to ourselves for whatever reason. But when you're aware that you're acting, that can change the whole thing, because now you can see that you have some power in the script that you're playing, in the role that you're playing, the story that you're playing. And when you no longer sacrifice yourself for others, but you start doing the way you want to be, then you start recovering little by little your authenticity. Then you also discover that everybody around you, they're also acting, but they don't know. That even professional actors and actresses, when they're not acting professionally, they don't know they're still acting. Well, sometimes they will know, or they know, but not too many for sure. Then you can see how important it is to see yourself as an actor or actress, because we can decide what role we will play. And also very important is to see that the stage is changing all the time. And as an actor or actress, we have to adapt to every change that exists in the stage. And the biggest example that I give all the time is that over a year ago, we used to have certain stage that we are comfortable with. And all of a sudden, the stage changed completely. The way we live our life changed completely. And when we resist, we make everything more difficult. But when we adapt to the new way of life in this new scenario, life becomes so easy. Even we can take advantage of whatever change is happening around us. Then it's very important to understand it, to see ourselves as an actor or actress, because we cannot avoid to act. Not even when we are alone, because we keep acting the way we think we are. I'm still acting like Miguel, even if it's just an image, an identity. But I'm still acting. Barbs?
Well, I'll let Aaron take the next.
Well, what I was going to say is, as you're talking, and as I was reading the book too, I was having memories of being a child. And I remember clearly being so grateful to be alive, and not understanding what this world was about. and thinking if I watch other people and study other people, that maybe I can learn about what I'm supposed to do. So I remember like watching my parents and watching my friends and seeing how they dressed and seeing what they wore and how they spoke.
Yes.
And I saw all these reactions and I wanted to avoid reactions. And I saw so clearly that if I modify myself, I can avoid, reaction. I can avoid getting in trouble. I can avoid judgment. And it seemed to make sense to me as a child to do that. And then 10 years later, in my late teens, I remember looking in the mirror, seeing all the acne and the hair and the clothes and wondering, who is this person in that mirror? I don't recognize this person anymore. Where is that child that was so happy, so curious about life? Where's that child that was so enamored by the mystery? Now there's this person in the mirror looking back at me that's perfected the art of avoiding judgment, perfected the art of not taking risks, perfected the art of avoiding every interaction. How did I become so masterful at that and forget the mystery? And so that put me on a personal journey, and thankfully I've had a lot of conversations with you guys about that. Mm-hmm. But I think the beautiful thing is that mystery, the mystery that we're searching for in life. Sometimes we're searching outside of us for that mystery, not realizing that the mystery is just that missing authenticity.
It's the truth. It's what we as artists are seeking all the time. And of course, we go into some strange little, side roads and back alleys to find it. But, Miguel makes a point of just saying that awareness is seeing things as they are. But of course, we've been offered so many filters in forming our minds and our viewpoints about reality that it's almost impossible to do that without a lot of practice. I maintain that it takes less practice to start seeing things as they are than it did to start, creating these illusions for ourselves in the course of a lifetime. You're describing a child, the child that you were, is pretty alert to be able to stand back and say, what is this picture? There's something wrong with this picture. And I think it's me. I think it's the way I've sort of fabricated an image of myself and I don't relate to that image. And of course, we're changing and we're evolving as human beings all the time, and our perception is evolving. Our brains are evolving, but our images don't seem to evolve. The image we're projecting onto the world. So that's a fantastic thing to be aware of early in life. For me, it was, deciding I wanted to be an actress. I mean, a professional actress, coming out of school. And I think it took me a few years of acting professionally on television to finally realize the joy it gave me was that I had, at best, but still, I had a few minutes in every performance to be as honest as I could possibly be. Given a character, given a fake situation, I did a lot of soap opera, so given, really absurd melodrama, I could still find a few seconds or minutes of interacting with another human being that felt as honest as possible. And then I began to put two and two together when I walked off the sound stage or whatever and onto the street. I realized I don't get this in life. I don't get those 2 minutes. I'm back to being Barbara, which is what my parents want me to be, or the Barbara that my boyfriend wants me to be, or the Barbara that, an old friend from high school wants me to be. And without even knowing it, I'm playing those roles. And I can't wait to get back in front of the camera or on stage where I get those few minutes of truth again, in a very fabricated and artificial situation. I can find the truth, the human truth, in just speaking dialogue that was written for me, but give it my full, truthful and honest expression. And once I figured that out and got a little bit better at it, acting professionally stopped being as exciting or as stimulating to me, because I began to see, okay, wait, there's other ways for me to do this. And I'm reciting other people's lines, and I'm no longer afraid of the camera. I'm no longer afraid of the truth. And so let me pursue it in ways that suit me better. And, so it goes from that to writing poetry, or, eventually finding somebody to say, awareness is a pretty simple thing once you get rid of all those lies you're telling yourself. Or somebody like Don Miguel Ruiz, who is reflecting the truth back at you all the time, even though you don't really want to see it, even though it kind of disturbs you. Like, the truth is, as he said to me once, you're a great actress. And this was a time in my life where acting was, 10, 15, 20 years behind me. And I took it as an affront. Why are you calling me an actress, people who perform, when I'm being so sincere? I'm being so real in this moment. And of course, he wasn't big on detailed explanations, but that rankled me so much that I had to sort of finally begin to figure out, yeah, even when I'm being at my most sincere, I'm being Barbara trying to seem authentic. And, that could discourage an apprentice, or it could drive them further towards truth and authenticity, whatever that means. But we know what we're doing is lying to ourselves. Even when we're alone in the dark, we're lying to ourselves. We're lying about who we are, who we need to be. We're still in our heads pleasing people that are no longer in our lives, perhaps. We're trying to be what our mentors were. So we find other teachers and mentors, and then we try to be like them. And we can put it all down and say, I've learned a lot from the people who, I admire in life. But that's not getting me to the truth of what I am, not just what my image is, better image than I had at 20 or 30, but the truth of what I am is life in form, in a human body, situated very strangely in the dream of humanity, which is a whole, performance in itself. Everybody trying to imitate everybody else. So how does that translate? How does that translate in every minute of human behavior, human interaction, in the words we speak? That's the great fun and experiment of it. Let me see what it is not to react to something, and just look at it, look at the situation, listen to what people are saying and how they're performing. That Miguel taught us and repeated this over and over again for years, that we're dreaming. We're dreaming because we're making impressions of what's going on. Each of us has our own impression of what's going on in reality, but it's kind of a dream because it's all impressions, it's all interpretations. And the same is with performance. We're acting all the time. This is how we interpret what we need to do in order to connect with people better. This is what we need to do in order to, get a better position in society. And that's important, but know that this is a performance, and know that you can let go of the performance. You can not step away from the stage because the whole world is a stage, but you can separate yourself from that character, whatever it is you think in the moment, and be as honest and as enthusiastic about just a truthful moment, those 2 a day, as you can, until that becomes a habit. The reflex response is not the habit. The habit is, what is the truth here? This person is trying to con me, or this person really wants me to, be as impassioned or as enthusiastic or as angry as they do. What is my truth? How do I respond to this? And why should I get caught up in the melodrama? Because, realize it or not, we're all in our own little soap opera, or we're in somebody else's soap opera, which is extremely uncomfortable. And just realizing these things makes it easy to see what we don't want to do. And when we get in the habit of saying, no, that's not the way I want to react to life, to you, to myself, to this situation, then spontaneity becomes sort of just back what it was, second nature, first nature. As Miguel says, it's DNA. It teaches us to mimic in order to survive. This is, as natural as can be. But at some point, we're grown up enough and independent enough and strong enough on our own to be able to make discerning choices about our behavior and our responses to everything.
Awesome. I have a question.
Yes, honey.
From someone, her name is Danielle, I believe. And
Danielle.
I'm sure we'll get into this at some point, but her question is, and I'm guessing this is in regard to the book, The Actor, but she says, it seems self-awareness is only one part of the process. What do we do with this new awareness now?
Well, I'm not sure what process we're talking about.
Well, go ahead.
Is this a process or is this life and evolution? And I think Miguel wants to answer that.
Okay, tell me the question.
Okay, I can make an interpretation. This is just my interpretation, but let's say it seems self-awareness, awareness that we're performing a role, or the awareness that we're
now
fulfilling. What do we do with that awareness now?
Okay, awareness is the first step in order to change the performance that we are playing, in order to also change the stage, the role, because we do all that without awareness all of our life. But once that we're aware, now we can see that we have the power to change whatever we are doing. We cannot keep doing whatever the same way and keep sacrificing ourselves in order to be accepted by society the way they want us to be. Or we can say, no, thank you. I will do what I want to do right now. I don't have to sacrifice myself for you and for anybody else. No, we can let go then. And the next step is rearrange the stage, rearrange the way we see life. And in the beginning will not be that easy, because everybody wants to control the way we act. They're used to see us to sacrifice ourselves in certain ways, that when we no longer want to sacrifice anymore, they start getting upset with us and take it personally. But awareness is a very important part in order to transform what we believe we are, which means to return to be authentic. That answered the question?
I think that answers the question. And I think we lost Barbara, maybe her iPad. But
Well,
we'll see if she logs back in.
Yes.
So, we're approaching the end of this conversation, but I do find it interesting, like with awareness, if we're aware that we're performing these roles and we're aware that we're pretending to be something that we're not, then we have the chance to change that. We have the chance to, like you said, to find that authenticity and be more like our real ourselves, instead of trying to pretend to be something for somebody else.
Awareness is a whole mastery.
Mm-hmm.
Just to be aware. You say a wonderful word a little before, you mentioned mystery. Well, the biggest mystery that we have in our life is ourselves, because we don't know what we are. We only know what we believe we are, what we wish to be. We know what everybody tells about us, but we really don't know what we are. This is the biggest mystery. Then the whole, when we reveal all those mysteries, the last one to reveal will be, oh, this is what I am. You find what you are, and you also find that there is no words to explain what you are. Then awareness is a whole mystery. Another big mystery is transformation, that start changing everything as soon as you are aware. Well, even before awareness, everything is changing anyway all the time, but you are not aware of that transformation. And the other mastery is what we call mastery of intent, which is nothing but mastery of life, mastery of energy that is shifting and changing everything. But yes, awareness is extremely important. It's a whole mastery. And without that awareness, we really don't go anywhere with our consciousness. We just live our life the way it is. And we never know why we are the way we are. And at a certain point, perhaps it's not that important, but it's important for the ones who are looking to find themselves and to be what they are, completely authentic.
You know, it kind of makes me think that the roles we play is really about control. We're trying to become predictable to ourselves in a way, because if we're predictable to ourselves, then we kind of anticipate the way that we're going to react. We anticipate the way someone else is going to react, and that predictability makes us feel, safe. But if we're unpredictable, then we can't we feel out of control because we can't control ourselves. And so there was something I read in the book about if you're afraid of the truth, then you'll never really understand the mystery of you.
Well, even if we don't want to, life is revealing every mystery step by step. And sometimes many mysteries at the same time. That at a certain point can look overwhelming when we think is too much. But what is really important is to see that we are much more than what we believe we are. And yes, with the acting, we feel safe in us, in the way that we know. And when a mystery comes, we face the mystery until it's no longer a mystery. It becomes something that we know every single day. Become very familiar. That stops being a mystery. But every time that we go in a different direction, we will find different mysteries. In fact, this theater is the very first book of a group of at least 4 books that together we call it the Mystery School. At the Mystery School, we can say that we have only one teacher that is teaching the main character of our story, and that teacher is life itself. Life is revealing one by one all the mysteries. And they use other people to reveal those mysteries. Like they use our parents, they use our teachers, they use the entire society to start revealing all those mysteries. Like the first time that out of your home that you go to a mystery school is the elementary school. You have no idea what you're gonna find there. And they reveal the secrets to you one by one. You learn to read, math. You learn all the tools that will help you to survive in society. And in this series of books that we start creating right now, with the actor, Eros, the myth, they're intertwined, and that is guided us really to discover the biggest mystery, which is ourselves. To find out everything that we are not in all the different directions in life. And only stay what we are. Like in acting, we find out all the performance that we did, that it was not really authentic. All what we are not start going away. And only what is real, what is true, is staying with us. And the same with love and the other directions that we're writing books right now. Then I really encourage everybody to keep revealing those mysteries to find by the end what you really are. I don't know if I even answered what you was asking for, but I enjoy it anyway.
Me too. There is another question. Should we just do one more question?
Sure.
Let's do one more question from Barbara. She says, good morning. So sometimes I get confused on making judgments or trying to figure out how to act in a certain group. I think it might be difficult to ask questions sometimes in a forum like this. I'm going to have to make an interpretation of this question. But I would say someone's asking, it seems like they're having difficulty acting in a particular type of group. So maybe it's a group they're not familiar with, I'm going to guess. So when you're interacting with people you don't know, for example, how do you get comfortable in a situation that you're totally unfamiliar with? Oh, hold on, Barbara. You are muted.
We don't hear you.
There we go.
Are you hearing me now?
Yep.
Now.
Okay. You know what we forget to do in life is just to be there, to listen. We forget to exercise the thing that's most authentic about us, which is our presence, our being, the fact of our humanity. We want to come in with a, I don't know, sometimes I joke a lot about we enter a room with an alibi. We enter a room with a story. We enter a room with an idea of ourselves that we think is going to play better for this particular audience. And if we don't know the audience, if we're not familiar with the company, of course that is going to make us very insecure. The whole cliche about dreaming that you're naked and you lost your script and you don't know the lines and everybody is talking and you don't know when you're supposed to speak. That's, a typical human anxiety, but it's an anxiety born of, having to enter a room, having to be in a situation as a character. And we forget that we are first and foremost life in the form of a human being. And really all life has to do is enter the room. When you were a baby, that's all you did. You entered a situation, you entered a community, a little tribe of human beings, and they were delighted with you because all you were was life, a perfect representation of life, kicking and screaming and doing all those things. But you weren't trying to be something. You weren't trying to perform at that point or present yourself as something that you were not. What I find most attractive about Miguel Ruiz is that he gives the perfect reflection, no judgment, no, preconceived ideas. And that's what we're all looking for, just a perfect reflection. And what better way to do that than to look, to listen, to appreciate, and to be in the presence of other human beings as a human being, as a representation of life in its pure potential. And that takes another kind of way of thinking and another kind of practice. But basically, we're going back to where we started. We have all this knowledge, we have all this experience, but we can be babies in that sense, that we're just here, delightful, and seeing everything as love, including ourselves.
I think that's,
You know, when we go to a reunion with people that we don't know, there is a mystery there that need to be revealed. We don't know the people don't know us. But we already know we are actor or actress. That's what we know. And we also know that we decide to be there. We decide to go with these people, and we are going to learn something there or to teach something there, or both. We got to learn and to teach, because a mystery will be revealed to us. We're gonna meet people that we didn't know before. We don't know how they are. They introduce themselves. Now we know something about that. Some mysteries start being developed there, revealing, and you are reacting to those mysteries. And then you start exploring, you're asking. And you ask to know more about wherever you are. And then you want to have an emotional reaction. You can be comfortable or uncomfortable. And at any moment, you can make decisions what you're gonna do there or not. If you're not comfortable and you don't want to be there, you can say, well, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna leave, or whatever. Then only you know that, because you are the actor or the actress who decide to be part in that reunion and to know these people that you didn't know before. Once you know that, you can start feeling more comfortable, and you can start open more to share or to receive, because you have no idea how they will react to whatever you do. They don't know. You don't have idea how they're gonna react to your performance, if it's gonna be accepted or not. But you have to be aware that the main critic is yourself. If you push yourself to do a great performance, you're gonna do that. But also, if you push yourself to be a certain kind of performance, that's gonna happen also. Then you have the responsibility to every action or reaction that you have in any situation in your life. But it's when you know you're acting, and you know that everybody in that group are also acting, even if they don't know, you have a big advantage, because you can start seeing actions and reactions, and well, you can take certain kind of control of whatever situation is there. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but
it makes a lot of sense. And it actually sort of mitigates a lot of the fear that arises when you're in a new situation. So it's a beautiful perspective. So I appreciate that. There's one last comment. It's not a question, but someone's writing, please tell Don Miguel today, all of us on the chat love him and are eternally grateful for him. So just wanted to share that love. And
Oh, that was from me.
oh, okay. So I think let's wrap it up. It's 10:50, and we have 3 more meetings, and I'm sure we will explore other avenues on the other discussions. So I just want to thank you guys so much for taking the time to chat and talk about the actor. And I don't know if there's anything else you want to say before we close, but I just want to go ahead.
yes, I will ask them to, well, once they read the book, if they have any questions related to that book,
Mm.
doubts that they have about that book, please let us know, and we can go in that direction also. Because we want to take the best of this for this book as we can and share it the best we can. Barbara?
Absolutely. I thank everybody for joining us. I thank you, Miguel and Aaron, and I guess we'll pick this up again next week.
We will pick this up again next week, and I'll remind everyone to please, if you do have questions about the book, it's a great opportunity to ask both Barbara and Don Miguel about those questions. So read the book this week, and next week we will dive into some new material. And again, thank you both so much for taking the time. So much love to you. And
You too,
look
Hank.
forward to talking again.
Okay, next week, don't forget.
Same
read
time,
the
same
book, see the questions that you have, and let's have fun, because this is the whole thing really about having fun.
Mhm.
And please join Barbara in the lecture that she do once a month or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I have a phone call every Tuesday morning, 7 Pacific time. If anybody would like to chat further, everybody's welcome to join us. And the information is on Miguel's website.
That's miguelruiz.com. And
Yes, Conversations with Barbara.
sounds great. Well, I look forward to talking to you next week. Enjoy your
Okay.
day, and we will talk soon.
Thank you, hon.